Hey lovely one, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm super excited to be guiding you all through an infinity flow. If you're not sure what an infinity flow entails, no worries, I'm going to explain it all. But basically, when we get to the main sequence of our practice, it forms this endless flow that seems like could go on and on and on without a clear pause between the right and the left side. It kind of all merges together. Now, I promise you it is going to come to an end. We won't just be flowing through this infinity flow for an eternity. I'm sure we all have places to be and people to see. But hopefully, as we settle into the rhythm, we kind of find our own rhythm as we move through the practice. Now, of course, there's going to be a couple of creative transitions in there as well. So let's just see where it takes us. And as always, be curious as we come into this practice. That nothing has to go right. There's no such thing as right or wrong in our yoga practice, and really being open-minded to just seeing what comes up in the moment. So I hope you enjoy this practice. What you might need for the practice is at least one block, just to make some of the poses perhaps a little bit more, I'm throwing mine around, a little bit more accessible, and to bring the ground up to you, just to bring you a little bit more support. Okay, so maybe place that to the top of the mat. And then let's start in seated as we perhaps are now. So get yourself settled into your little yoga space today. Nestle the sit bones down into the ground. Perhaps we just simply bring palms to hands to rest on the knees. You can have the palms to hands facing down if you feel like you need a little bit more grounding today. Or you might have the palms to hands facing up if we're open to receiving, whatever that might be. Okay. Slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. And if it feels okay to do so, let's close off the eyes and close off the outside world. Beautiful. So straight away, just starting to arrive here, settling into our infinity practice today. So straight away, as we settle into this moment, what do we find here? What do we notice? Perhaps we notice our breath, that gentle ebb and flow, breathing in through the nose. And you might take a couple sighs out through the mouth. Beautiful. And perhaps with each sigh we take, feel as though we can kind of let go of anything we're holding on to here, anything to do with our day that's perhaps been holding us back or keeping us occupied. See if we can let it go for a moment now. Let all those worries kind of slide off you as best as you can. And perhaps we start to take a few deeper breaths here, deeper breath in through the nose. A slightly bigger sigh out through the mouth maybe. Beautiful. So in your own time, gradually bring yourselves into your own rhythm of your breath. So nothing has to be particularly forced here. You don't necessarily need to shape the breath to be anything in particular. Just find a comfortable rhythm for you. So whether that's just breathing in and out through the nose, or whether it's taking a few big sighs here and there, let it be whatever you need it to be. Listening to the breath is a great way to really tune into how we're feeling in this moment. So again, listen to that gentle whisper of your breath and see what our bodies have to say to us today. And we might start to notice different sensations moving through the body, and they might be physical sensations, aches or tenderness maybe. Or it might be perhaps emotional sensation. Just see where you're at today. As always, we don't need to feel a certain way, we don't need to be a certain way, just be exactly as you are. So if it takes a while to find that rhythm of your breath, if it takes a while to be still here, again, that's okay. Take as long as you need. Gently bringing ourselves to this compassionate space wherever you are practicing today. This is your space, this is your time to breathe and be exactly as you are. So perhaps take a little moment to send some kindness, some compassion to yourselves. Thank yourselves for being here today, for showing up on your mats, even on the days when it can feel the most challenging to bring yourselves here. So again, no matter what we are experiencing in this moment, gently invite yourselves to be here now. So let's start to lengthen the breath just a little bit more. So perhaps we start to breathe together here. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, maybe it's a sigh out through the mouth. Beautiful. And again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time, deep breath in. And deep breath out. Beautiful. Let's gently bring the palms to hands together in front of the heart space just for a moment. Perhaps taking a moment to set an intention for our practice today. Maybe that intention is to be compassionate to ourselves as we move through these creative transitions, or be open-minded for whatever our practice may bring us today. Or maybe it's an intention for something throughout the rest of your day, the rest of the week or month or year. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in, seal that intention within. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's gently start to rub the palms to hands together. Just a couple of times, building up a little bit of heat in between the center of your palms. And once we feel like we've built enough heat, let's gently place the palms to hands over the eyes. So starting to warm up the eye sockets here, starting to warm up the muscles of the face. You can blink the eyes a couple of times, welcoming that warmth. Perhaps we start to separate the fingertips, let a little bit of light filter in. And then when you are ready, you can let the hands softly fall away from the face and open your eyes back into the yoga space you are in today. Beautiful. From here, let's gently extend left leg out to the left hand side. And keeping this right shin just folded underneath you. Both sit bones rooted down to the ground as best as you can. And you can let this extended leg just simply relax here. Fingertips out in front. Let's take a deep breath. As we exhale, maybe we start to softly creep the fingertips forwards, gradually coming into this little forward fold. As best as you can, keeping both sit bones down. So you might notice the sit bone of the extended leg might be tempted to lift up here. So as best as we can, keep the sit bones rooted down towards the mat and just fold as far as you want to go. It's our first stretch of our practice here. So let's kind of ease ourselves in gently. Nothing has to be too intense straight away. You might take a breath in to find length through the spine. As we exhale, we might soften through the elbows just a little bit. Maybe there's a little bit further to go. One more breath. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's inhale to softly creep the fingertips all the way back in. And then bring your left hand to the inside of this left leg. We're going to sweep that right arm up and over, taking a beautiful side body stretch. So this might be the first moment in our day we're taking time to open up through the side body and facilitate those deeper breaths. So as you breathe, let's think about sending the breath down to that right side of the rib cage. Feel the rib cage expand. Now as we exhale, soften into that stretch a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay. And then as we inhale, let's gently rise all the way back up. This right hand is going to land slightly back behind you, kind of to the right diagonal here. We're going to push down through both feet, or kind of this right shin and the left foot, sweeping left arm up and drive the hips to the sky. Beautiful. And lift the heart to the sky also here. First little hints at heart opening here. Beautiful. Take a deep breath. As we exhale, gently come all the way back down the way we came. Beautiful. Okay, let's reach for that extended leg. Let's gently pull it in. And we simply change it over. Extend the right leg out to the right hand side. And now we have the left shin folded underneath us. Okay. Fingertips just in front of that left shin. And again, take a deep breath. As we exhale, maybe we softly start to fold forwards. Lovely, well done. Now again, notice whether that right sit bone wants to lift slightly here. Can we keep it pressed down? Beautiful, keeping the hips level as best as we can. Feeling that little stretch through the inside of the right thigh. Maybe there's a little release across the lower spine here. Take a deep breath, and again, let's find that length through the spine. As we exhale, soften through the elbows. Maybe diving that a little bit more. Beautiful, take a breath wherever you are now. Exhale. And as we inhale, let's simply walk the hands back in, rising back up. Beautiful. Right hand to the inside of the right leg. Let's sweep that left arm up, up, up. Into that beautiful side body stretch. So notice how it feels on this side of the body. Again, notice the expansion of the rib cage, sending energy out through those top fingertips. One more breath. Exhale. And then as we inhale, let's rise all the way up. Left hand now lands slightly back behind you. Pushing down through left hand, left shin, right foot. We're going to fly the hips to the sky, sweeping right arm up and above. Beautiful. Roll that right shoulder back, spiral the heart to the sky. One more breath. Exhale, gently let the hips come all the way back down the way they came. Let's reach for that extended leg and gently pull it all the way back in. Beautiful. From here, let's point the knees up to the sky. Perhaps walking the feet in slightly, bringing the hands to the back of the knees, okay? Finding this tall spine, so just sending the shoulders down and away from the ears. Think about knitting the rib cage together. And maybe we come up onto our tiptoes here. We might start to play with lifting one leg, tapping it down, lifting the other. Beautiful. So starting to find this little fire within our bellies, okay? This little spark maybe, okay? We might already start to feel that a little bit of strength within the core, within the spine. Beautiful. And if you want to, maybe we have a little go lifting both feet off, and you can stay holding on here, thinking about sending the chest forwards, drawing your knees towards your chest. Beautiful. And maybe we have a little go at taking the arms off. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lovely stuff. Let's gently release the feet down as you go. Maybe you cross at the ankles, or you might prefer to swing the ankles around to one side and see if we can send the body all the way up and over to come into our tabletop. Beautiful. So let's take a moment just to bring the hands down to the ground, get the wrists used to having some little bits of body weight pressed down into them. So I might just have a little shift of weight side to side, forwards and back. Spreading the fingertips down into the ground. Beautiful. You can maybe take a moment to play with sending the fingertips out in different directions. Finding these little places of stretch. Okay. So it's always good just to take a moment to warm up these really precious joints of the body. Joints we use so much every day, but we don't really pay attention to them. Yeah, so let's just give them a little bit of love. Okay. Taking perhaps one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Okay. In your own time, start to move through your cat and cow. So as we inhale, let's glide the belly down, lift up through the heart space, lift the tailbone up to the sky, gazing ahead. And then as we exhale, we're going to round through the back, tuck the chin towards the chest, tuck the tailbone under, send the shoulder blades high to the sky. Let's go a couple more times, using your inhale to rise up through the head and heart. And your exhale to round through the back. Beautiful. As we keep this going, maybe notice how this movement feels in your body. Maybe starting to find a little bit more freedom, a little bit more fluidity perhaps. Or even if the movement feels a little bit more clunky in places, again, it's all good, we're just noticing. And if we do come across clunkiness, let's see if we can use the breath to assist us through that movement. So again, the inhale glides the heart forwards. The exhale, send those shoulder blades to the sky. One more round here. Inhale, rising on up. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's inhale to come to our neutral spine. We're going to tuck all 10 toes under, making sure every single toe is tucked under, even the pinky toe here. Sometimes that gets a little bit left out. So if you need to reach back and kind of manually tuck that toe under, you can do. And then let's start to have a little shift of weight side to side as we send our hips back towards our heels, taking kind of an active child's pose here, or maybe starting to come in what might look like an active child's pose. Okay, and then from here, let's continue to walk the hands in that little bit more. Still shifting the weight from side to side. Maybe we come up onto the fingertips, start to lift the chest a little bit higher. And then when you're ready, maybe we have a little go at bringing hands to the thighs, rising all the way up to kneeling, but keeping hips down to the heels. Coming into that deep, intense toe stretch here. Beautiful. So this might feel quite fiery within the feet. So let's use that breath to help us. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, soften through the shoulders. All it is going to be 2 more of those breaths. You've got this. Breathe in. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale. Lovely, really well done. Gently start to send the weight back forwards. We're going to want to rush this, so let's slow it down as best as we can. Beautiful. And then from here, push down through the fingertips. You're going to lift the knees. Let the heels of the feet come down. Hips go high to the sky. And we take our standing forward fold at the back of the mat. Beautiful. So we've just deeply woken up through the soles of the feet. So let the soles of the feet now meet the ground here. Let the toes spread into the mat. Feeling all 4 corners of the feet really press down here. And then the upper body is just free to hang heavy. Crown of the head slowly dripping down towards the ground. You might take hold of opposite elbows, have a little sway side to side. Lovely stuff. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Beautiful. Let's go for 1 more breath. Exhale. And then from here, let's take a little bend through the knees, release the elbows, and softly start to roll it through the spine. So tucking the tailbone under, really gently rising on up here. Head is going to be the final thing to lift. Maybe we take a nice big shoulder roll as we get to the top, lift them up. Exhale, send them down. Beautiful. Let's take just a very brief moment in standing here. So again, feet are firmly planted underneath you. Arms can just rest down by our sides. Maybe we take a moment to again close the eyes. How does it feel to simply bring yourselves to stand here? Notice those tiny shifts of weight side to side, forward and back. Do we feel sturdy through the feet, or maybe we feel a little bit unsteady here? Again, just notice. Take it all in. Come back to your own pattern of your breath. Beautiful. Maybe take 1 more inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. And then maybe fluttering the eyes open as we inhale. Let's sweep the arms to the sky. Take a beautiful stretch here. Grow tall. Then as we exhale, sending the hips back, dive the heart forward, come back into our forward fold. Maybe there's a little bit more space within the body here. And then as we inhale, we're going to take our halfway lift. So bring our fingertips to the shins, rise up, flat back, have a little softness through the knees here. Exhale, dive it back into that fold. Lovely. Bend the knees perhaps a little bit more. Start to bring the hands down to the ground, and let's walk them out in front to come to our downward facing dog. Beautiful. So keeping the hips high to the sky, take a little bend through the knees so we can really squish the belly up against the thighs. And you might have a little move and groove here. You might pedal out through the feet, bending one knee, then the other. Beautiful. Really think about pushing the hands down into the ground. And rather than relying on the heel of the hand, can we push down through the fingertips? Feel the fingertips grip down here. Okay. You might sway the head, nod the head, making sure the back of the neck is released. 1 more breath. Exhale. Beautiful. As we inhale, let's take that right leg up to the sky, kicking energy out through that right heel. Doesn't matter how high it goes, just send it on up. Exhale, right knee comes in towards the chest, start to drive the weight forward. Maybe we softly land that right foot in between the hands, and if it doesn't quite get there, give it a little bit of help. Okay, let's softly lower left knee down to the ground, and we can untuck those left toes. We're going to be on this left knee for a little bit of time, so if you need to give the knee a little bit more padding, perhaps by rolling the mat up, feel free to do so. If you've got an extra blanket or something, feel free to give that knee a little bit of extra support here. Okay, from here, let's brush the fingertips along the mat. We're going to rise up to our low lunge. Okay, so this is the start of our infinity flow. So again, just seeing where it takes us, settling into the stretch. So maybe we tuck the tailbone under, take a deep breath in. As we exhale, maybe we wriggle right toes out a little bit further forwards, gliding the hips down. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Have one more inhale to reach up that little bit higher through the fingertips. As we exhale, we're going to draw the elbows down just in line with your shoulders, so you take this little cactus shape. As we inhale, let's squeeze the elbows back behind us, lift up through that heart space a little bit more. Beautiful. Take a deep breath. Exhale, bring the palms to hands together in front of that heart space. Beautiful. So as you bring the hands together, it's almost like we're collecting our energy for a moment. Deep breath in. Exhale, let's take a little twist. We're going to twist around to the right hand side, maybe still sinking into the hips here. I'm going to give you a couple of options. So maybe left hand comes to the right knee, right arm might reach back behind you. Maybe that's where you want to be in the twist. Or we might keep the palms to hands together, and maybe we bring left elbow to hook to the outside edge of the right knee. See if we can push the palms of the hands together, elbows out to the side. Rolling that right shoulder back as you come into the twist. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. One more here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay. As we inhale, let's gently rise, so lift the chest, but keep the twist as best as you can. And then release your left hand down to the ground to the inside of this right foot. Maybe this is where our block starts to creep on in here. So you might feel better bringing your block underneath that left hand at whatever height you choose. Okay. From here, let's start to push down through that right foot. Lengthen the right leg just as far as it wants to go. Maybe those right toes lift up to the sky. You might bring right hand to the lower spine to again roll that right shoulder back, making sure we've still got that twist within the upper body. And then maybe we send a right arm up to the sky. This is our revolved half split stretch, so there's quite a lot going on here. You've got that stretch through the right leg. You've got the twist through the upper body. So again, use that breath. Imagine the breath is traveling up and down the length of that right leg here. Okay, well done. One more inhale. One more exhale. Beautiful. From here, let's look down to the ground. Lower body is going to stay the same, but upper body, we're just going to change the arms over. So gently starting to dive the right hand down, also to the inside of that right leg. And again, maybe right hand comes down to the block, so we change the block over. And then starting to roll the left shoulder back, we take the left arm to the sky. So we still have a twist, but it's a bit more of an open twist. We get to open the heart to the left-hand side now. Again, right leg is as long as it wants to be. Maybe we keep a little bit of a micro bend through that right knee. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's go for one more here. Deep breath. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's look down to the ground and start to send left hand all the way back down towards the mat. Beautiful. Let's sink back into that right knee, and we might wriggle right toes to the outer edge of the mat. Right toes can turn out slightly, and we can let the hips sink down to the ground. Let's keep our block nearby, so maybe have it to the left hand side. Both hands again are down to the ground to the inside of that right foot. So we've got all this lovely space to let the hips sink down towards the ground here. Coming into our lizard lunge, so gently breathing into that tricky hip space. a place that we know we tend to hold so much physical tension, but also a lot of emotional tension here. So again, send the breath there, gently opening up through the space. Okay, take perhaps 2 more breaths in your own time, and you can keep this little sway from side to side if that feels good for you. Beautiful. Maybe 1 more breath. As you exhale, you may have a little venture down onto the elbow. So maybe we think about landing. Maybe the left elbow comes down quite comfortably. You might find that the right elbow hovers slightly. So there's a couple of things we can do. Either we bring the right hand a little bit closer towards us, so perhaps the right hand is kind of in line with your left elbow, just to give the heart space a little bit more support. Or you might bring right elbow down to the block. So you're able to bring that right elbow down to a sturdy support without having to send it all the way down to the ground. Now, of course, if the ground feels super far away, we can stay lifted up. So don't feel as though you have to send the heart down to the ground. If you prefer being up here, then be there. That's totally cool. Wherever we are, take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Let's go for 1 more deep breath. Exhale. Beautiful. As we inhale, let's all start to rise back up. So push down through the hands, lift in the chest. Beautiful. Pop that block to one side for a moment. Let's lift up out of the hips, and we're going to start to sweep this right leg all the way to the back. So extend right leg to the back of the mat, come onto the ball of that right foot, and take a moment just to bring left knee a little bit further forward. So left knee is a little bit more underneath you. Okay. We're then going to cross this right knee behind the left. So we come into this weird kind of cross-legged tabletop here. Okay. From here, steady as we go, we're going to think about splitting the ankles out to the side. So right ankle goes out to the left, left ankle goes out to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently start to walk your hands towards you. Maybe we send sit bones down to the ground in between the feet here. Beautiful. Now that transition can be really tricky for knees and hips here. So if you prefer just to swing the legs around and bring yourselves to seated first, you can do. And as we come here, we might feel like we're kind of tying ourselves in knots a little bit. So we can unravel slightly. Maybe we extend right leg out in front and we just have the left leg crossed over the top. Yeah, that might feel a little bit more easy on the body here, able to get the sit bones down. So if you'd rather be here, okay? So wherever we are, let's think about growing tall through the spine. Okay, both sit bones rooting down to the ground. And let's think about shoulders down and away from the ears. Take a breath. Exhale. Beautiful. From here, maybe we start to sweep the fingertips up to the sky. Take a little bend through the elbows. Can we catch hold of opposite elbow here? Ears in line with your biceps, making sure we're not flaring out too much in the rib cage. So rather than taking this into a back bend, just keeping the spine fairly neutral. So we're not kind of rounded forwards, keeping the heart slightly open, but again, without overextending here, yeah? Take a deep breath. And an exhale. 1 more. Beautiful. As you exhale, gently release the elbows, bring the hands down. Okay, slightly tricky transition coming up here. Let's just see how we go. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. So option 1, use your hands to help you, and you're going to rise up to your knees. So either using the hands to kind of give you a push up, and we come to this cross-legged kneeling shape, yeah? Or maybe we try that transition without the assistance of the hands. So we may need a little swing backwards and forwards just to get you a little bit of momentum and see if we can rise. Drop the left knee down. So again, we come to that cross-legged kneeling. If cross kneeling here is like, what on earth is happening? Feel free to come to normal kneeling. Knees are parallel and we have the hips directly over the knees. If you want to be here, again, that's cool. Right, so wherever we are, we've risen up tall, we're grounding down through both shins. Might feel a little bit strange. Again, being curious, being open-minded. Take the arms out to the side, they're going to act as your little counterbalance, okay? Wherever you are, whether you've got the legs crossed or whether you've got the knees parallel, Ground down through your right shin, so we might need to shift the weight back slightly. See if we can gently unravel that left leg, and maybe we can hover that left foot. A little bit tricky, it's just a fun way to play with our balance, okay? So if we wobble, if we need to tap the toes down, it's all good. Have fun with it. Beautiful. Take a deep breath. As we exhale, gently land that left foot down towards the ground. Well done, well done. Okay, let's take a moment to release the hands down. Okay, we might want to reset that right knee. So if you want to tuck the toes under, lift the right knee, and then gently place it down so it feels like it's in a comfortable position here. And then when we're ready, let's brush the fingertips along the mat, re-rise up, low lunge. And just like magic, we have transitioned onto the other side, finding that continuous flow. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, reach up tall through those fingertips. Exhale, we cactus through the elbows. So again, we draw the elbows down in line with the shoulders and we squeeze them back behind us. Feel that energy kind of spread across your collarbones as we open across the heart space. Again, maybe we're tucking through the tailbone, gliding the hips forwards. Take another breath in. Exhale, palms, hands come together in front of that heart space. Beautiful. And again, we take a moment just to gather everything in. Okay, deep breath. Exhale, we twist to the left. Beautiful. So spiraling the heart round to that left-hand side. Again, maybe we bring right hand to the outside edge of that left knee. Maybe the left arm sweeps back behind you. Maybe that's where you want to be in the twist. Or maybe we keep the palms of the hands pressed together and we bring right elbow to the outside edge of the left knee. So bring yourselves to a variation of the twist that feels beneficial to you. Sometimes the elbow to knee connection can again feel a little bit too much kind of compression through the body, almost like we're squishing the belly a little bit too much. So if you want to give yourselves a little bit more space and lift yourselves up a little bit more, again, you can do so. Beautiful. Go where feels best for you. Wherever we are, let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. As we inhale, we keep the twist as we rise. And then we bring right hand down to the inside of this left foot. Let's maybe find our block underneath that right hand. We're going to push down through this left foot, start to lengthen that left leg. Maybe the left toes lift up to the sky. Left hand might start to come to your low spine. So again, we roll that left shoulder back so we find that twist again through the upper body. And if it feels okay, we can send left arm up to the sky. Beautiful. Revolved half split stretch. So again, there's a lot going on here. Take it easy. Maybe we think about sending left hip back, right hip forward. See what that does to the stretch here. And this leg does not need to be fully extended. So you can keep as much of a bend through the knee as you wish, just as long as we're feeling perhaps a little stretch down through the back of the hamstring or the hamstrings here. Okay. One more inhale. One more exhale. Beautiful. From here, let's look down to the ground. And we're going to change the arms over. So lower body stays the exact same. Left hand comes down and maybe we bring the block underneath the left hand. Start to roll the right shoulder back. And again, right hand can stay to the lower spine. Or we send that right arm up to the sky. Beautiful. So again, we've got that open twist. So it's a little bit more space for the heart space to spiral around. Okay. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's go for one more. Okay, let's gently look down to the ground. Let's dive this right hand all the way back down towards the mat. We're going to bend into that left knee. Let's place the block to one side just for a moment. Heel toe that left foot out to the side, creating a little bit more space for the hips to glide forwards and down. Beautiful. Okay. Keeping this left knee over the left ankle as best as we can, just so we're kind of stacking the bones. Beautiful. Okay. And maybe we start to welcome back this little sway from side to side. So having this little peek at our lizard stretch first of all. We don't need to go straight into the fire, straight into that intensity of the stretch. Beautiful. We can gradually arrive in the pose, little by little, bit by bit. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Maybe again we start to venture down onto the elbow. So maybe the right elbow comfortably comes down, or maybe it doesn't. Again, you can stay up onto the hands if that feels better. Left hand might be a little bit more underneath you, just to give the body or the chest a little bit more support. Or maybe left elbow comes down to that block, okay? So again, come to a level that feels best for you and notice whether we're inviting more tension in. So have we clenched through the fingertips and clenched through the fists? Are we clenching in the jaw? Just notice, can we invite more softness in, perhaps? Beautiful, take a breath. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Beautiful. As we inhale, we're going to rise back up. Lovely, well done. So again, pop that block out to the front just for a moment. Let's lift up out of the hips. And then this time we send the left leg to the back. So sweep it all the way around. Come onto the ball of that left foot just to shuffle. The right knee a little bit further forward. And we cross the left knee behind the right. So before we go anywhere, making sure we've got right knee in front, left knee behind. And then splitting the ankles out to the side. So right ankle goes over to the left. Left ankle goes over to the right. Steady as we go. Walk the hands towards you. Sending sit bones down to the ground in between the feet. See if we can come into our cow face at the back of the mat. Beautiful. Now again, if that transition doesn't work for you, feel free to bring yourselves down to seated. Maybe we have the left leg extended and we wrap the right leg on top, yeah? So this is as much of a valid option here. Always making sure we're listening to our bodies and tailoring the sequence, tailoring the pose to suit where you're at today, rather than forcing through things that aren't going to feel great, yeah? Okay. So whether you're here with the bottom leg extended, or maybe you've got that left leg also wrapped around, thinking about both sit bones down to the ground, shoulders down and away from the ears. And let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. As we inhale, can we sweep the fingertips up? Maybe take a little bend through the elbows. Now this time, can we bring the opposite arm on top? Maybe we have an instinctive way of crossing the arms here. So by crossing the other arm, just noticing whether we have any habits. And it's not necessarily going to make any real difference to the pose, but just seeing what habits we may have. Beautiful. Again, without this turning into a back bend, just a tall spine here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay. Gently release the hands all the way back down to the ground. Here we go, a little bit creative. So with the hands or without the hands, see if we can rise up onto the knees. Woo! With that right knee in front, left knee behind. Yeah? But again, if that doesn't feel great, feel free to bring the knees parallel so you have that little bit more sturdy grounding, okay? So wherever you are, whether we have right knee in front, left knee behind, or whether we have the knees parallel, finding that little bit of balance. Beautiful. So this time we start to shift the weight into the left shin. So we might need to shift the weight back slightly or around to the left-hand side, seeing if we can gently start to unravel that right leg. It's a little bit tricky. Trust that we can do it. Beautiful. Maybe we hover that right foot off. Again, this funky little balance here. Beautiful. Arms might be doing a crazy little dance. It's all good. Take a breath. Exhale. Beautiful. And we plant that right foot down with as much control as we can. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands down to the ground. Reset that left knee for a moment. Okay. Now what we could do in our infinity flow, if we had all the time in the world, we could continue going through this, maybe adding bits in here and there, but for today, that's all we're going to do. Beautiful. So let's shift gears slightly. Let's slide right foot to back next to the left. Separate the knees, bring the big toes together to touch. Melt your hips back towards the heels. Take a little child's pose here. So you might reach fingertips forward, maybe forehead comes down to the mat here. Or you might prefer to stack one fist on top of the other. Use that as a little platform for the forehead to rest on. Beautiful, well done. Take a moment to settle. So this is the first moment we've kind of paused in our practice. We've been slowly moving through that infinity flow. So as we come to this pause, notice. Notice breath rate, notice heart rate. Notice how we perhaps physically, emotionally feel. And it doesn't matter if we aren't sure exactly how we feel right now. Just gently take it in. Allow yourselves to soften again, little by little, bit by bit, starting to surrender into the mat. Beautiful. Perhaps having one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. As you inhale, let's gently lift the head and chest, start to look towards the top of the mat. And in the most convenient way possible, let's gently come down onto our belly. So walking the hands front, perhaps walking the knees back. Gently settle the hips down into the ground. And then from here, let's bring one hand on top of the other, elbows out to the side, so you can let the heart sink down here. Maybe forehead comes to the back of the hands, or you might prefer to turn the head to one side, bring the side of the face down towards the back of the hands. And then wherever we are, let's have a little bend through the knees, let the feet float up to the sky. And nice and easy, we're just going to sway the feet from side to side. Beautiful. Letting the feet kind of drift through space here. These feet that do so much for us day in, day out, carrying us from one place to the next. So allowing them to just float up for a moment. Perhaps we can almost channel this weightless sensation here. The whole body is just supported by the mat. The mat almost acts as this hammock, this cradle. And there's no need for us to hold ourselves in any particular way. We are free to just drift, to just float. Perhaps the breath has started to slow back down again here. Heartbeat returns back to that steady thump within the chest. And no worries if we're not quite there yet, you can take your time. Beautiful. Perhaps take another breath in as we are now. Exhale softly, let the feet return back to the earth. Lovely, well done. And let's just take a moment here, lying down on our bellies. Let the hips get heavy into the ground. In fact, the whole body feeling heavier and heavier here. And then again, in the most convenient, effortless way possible, we're going to flip onto our backs. So perhaps we gently start to roll to one side. And it doesn't matter which direction we go in. And if you roll off the mat, you can gently kind of shimmy yourselves back on. So you might need to push down through the feet to lift the hips and kind of wriggle yourselves back across. Beautiful. Okay. Take a moment to now let the back body meet the earth here. Front body is now exposed to the sky, so notice how those different sensations might manifest here, might appear here. You can keep the knees bent, perhaps they knock together. Maybe that helps the lower spine connect down to the ground here. Or we might prefer to extend the legs out in front and allow ourselves to completely unfold along the mat. And again, allowing ourselves to pause. That's all it is. Pausing here, being with the breath, and starting to settle into our Shavasana. And sometimes it might feel as though we can overcomplicate our Shavasana. We can almost bring in too much, and we can really worry about thinking about breath, heartbeat, emotional sensation, physical sensation. But all it is just a pause. So pause here and just let yourselves be. How often is it that we allow ourselves just to be for a moment? And if the answer is not very often, really indulge in it now. Take your time. Imagine we have all the time in the world to just be here. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. And final time, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Gently have a little wriggle through fingertips and toes. Rotate the wrists, the ankles, softly waking you up here. Bring yourselves back into your physical body. You might take a stretch along the mat. Reach the arms up and above, back behind you. Stretch the toes out in front. And then in your own time, let's choose a side, either the left or the right, and simply roll to that one side. And then when you're ready, perhaps using the hands to help you really softly rise all the way back up to seated here. Okay. Let's again nestle the sit bones down into the ground, coming back to a very similar place to how we started. Beautiful. Palms to hands can again land upon the knees, slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. And let's seal our practice as always with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, the palms to hands come together in front of the heart. And we bow. Beautiful. Well done, YouTube yogis. I hope you enjoyed that infinity flow. Maybe it was something a little bit different for us today, something we've not perhaps experienced before. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back in about 2 weeks or so with another free practice for you. But as always, any requests, feel free to pop a little message in the comments or send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you find me. And yeah, I will do my best to fulfill that request for you. All right. So I will see you again in about 2 weeks with another free practice. All right, see you then. Mwah. Bye. Hey Yogi, thank you so much for practicing with me. I really hope you enjoyed your practice. Just thought I'd sneak in at the end here and say, if you are wanting to practice a little bit more, if you perhaps want to dive a little bit deeper into the beautiful world of yoga, then the great news is that I'm offering one-to-ones online. So you can join me from the comfort of your home, me from mine, and we can get together either live online or I'll pre-record some classes just for you. And the beauty of those practices is that they are tailored to what you desire. So if you're just wanting to learn a little bit more about yoga, if you're a beginner and you're not quite sure what's what and you want to get a deeper understanding of anatomy or how the body kind of moves around on the mat, or maybe you're just wanting to try slightly different practices. If you're wanting to try yin yoga, for example, Or maybe we're kind of building up the confidence to maybe return to the studio in person and we're not quite got that confidence just yet. So if any of those speak to you, or maybe it's something else entirely, do feel free to reach out to me. You can either check me out on Instagram, send me a message over there, or just send me an email, and I would love to practice with you. Whatever it is, I'd love to tailor the practice to suit you, suit your individual needs, and we can go on this little journey together. So as I say, all the details are below if you want to have a chat, and I hope to hear from you very soon. All right, lots of love. Mwah.